Evening, everybody. It is 5:57 on this Thursday evening, last day, leap day of February. Okay, everybody was so concerned about today's numbers. They were nothing overwhelming one way or the other, although they definitely were taken as a positive. We had claims come in a little higher. We had continuing claims higher. Um, we had kind of an interesting juxtaposition where personal income came in hot, but the PCE and core PCE did not. And that sent the market from negative to positive in the pre market futures. And it gained pretty much the whole day. It was a somewhat boring day regardless, because it just kind of melted up. The biggest gainer, it turned out, was the Nasdaq, which made a new high for the first time since November of 2021. It was up 144.18 or 0.9%. Following closely behind were the Dow Jones Transports up 135.38.86. The Russell, which has been either the biggest gainer or the biggest loser every day of late, up 1454 or 0.71, followed by the S&P up 2651 or 0.52, and the Dow up just 4737.12%. Volume was bigger, substantially bigger. It's been running between let's call it 4.5 and 5.2, so an average of around 5 billion a day. Today it traded 6.3 billion. Advanced declines were 2-1 on the New York and 3-2 on the Nasdaq. Okay, we had a bunch of earnings after the close. I want to mention one from before the close, and that was from last night. Salesforce. Salesforce reported a beat, but there were people who were a little disappointed in the guidance, and the stock moved down pretty sharply. It recovered when Kramer had Mark Benioff on Mad Money. And today it continued even higher. The numbers looked something like after the earnings, which the stock had closed around 299, we'll call it 300, jumped up to 306 on the headline and then fell to 278, gained back to about 286, down only 13 and change or 4.5%. That continued today, with the stock making another high, getting very close to its all-time high from 2021, around 311. Today's high, it turned out, was 310.54, and the last is 308.89, up 912 or 304. That's a pretty nice move from, under 370 to, 270, 280, up to 310. So pretty nice. Okay, this afternoon after the close, we had HP Enterprises. It missed on revenue, beat on earnings. The guidance was a little on the soft side. It had been 1521 at the 4 o'clock close, up a dime. It fell as low as 1420, but pulled back up. Last is 1482, down just 4 cents, so pretty decent there. Autodesk, on the other hand, ADSK, they beat both top and bottom line. And after closing at 258.17, up just 97 cents, this one ran to 280. The last is 277. That's up 21.75 or 8.5%. And then another tech stock. Today was really the tech stock day. Dell had a huge beat, and that was both earnings and revenues. And the stock had closed at 94.70, up $1.45. and ran up as high as 113.49. The last on it is 110.40, up 17.15, or about 18.25%. They also increased their dividend. So pretty nice action there. Okay, the chart on the screen is the oil, which was a little seesaw-ish today. It was down overnight. It moved back up this morning. It actually turned positive during the morning and then fell back again. And it was down just 28 cents. So really, two-thirds up on the range. But as I told you, and here it is, we have the cross over from the 5 and 20 week moving averages back to the upside. The last consolidation where there was a decline and a bounce off this green line, which you must be getting tired of hearing about, the 200-week moving average. Last time it went through that, came bouncing off that and had the cross, we went from about $73, $73.50 on this move that ultimately peaked at 95. We have had, okay, the cross to the downside produced a move down, but we have had crosses where we didn't get a lot of action. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mean, we have periods like this where, we get movement where it crosses up and then it crosses right back down. And so a little bit concerned. But on this one, the MACD also is on a longer term chart. Again, 79.65, 79.60, 79.29, and this week's high of 79.62. I really like to see us close above 79.75 or so. I think that takes us at least to this red line, which is the 100-day MA, and that's around $84. Other futures markets that we had interest in, nat gas, which we sold a couple more of those nat gas calls. It closed at 186, and that was down 2.5. And frankly, after the last couple of weeks of straight down, it doesn't really surprise me much. I'll show you a little closer in here. We look like this was a new contract low, but we started back up on the daily. Let's go to that. And you will see. I'll bring it in. As you can see, this was the first down day in 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is getting also very close to a cross. If this goes up tomorrow, if this closes anywhere near the high tomorrow, and this high was today's 191.80, if we get through that tomorrow and close above that, I would say there's very little question of it moving back to 2 or even 220. Okay, a look at tomorrow. We have 9:45, so nothing prior to the open. 9:45, we have the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI. The prior was 49.1, and then we have at 10 o'clock February ISM Manufacturing. Looking consensus is 49.5. That would be up from 49.1. February final University of Michigan consumer sentiment looking to be 79.6 versus the prior of 78.8. And January construction spending, which is the consensus is 0.3%. The last one was 0.9%. So there you have it. And I almost forgot. Kodk, a blast from the past, now a 4, no more EK, now KODK. And this was an ex-Dow Jones Industrial. It was also an ex-Nifty 50 from the 60s. definitely downsized, but they had news today, and that is that their pension liabilities are covered 4 to 1. They have a $1.2 billion excess in their pension. The stock closed at 3.5 yesterday. Tonight it's 550. That's up $2 or 57% on the news that they're looking at options to use some of that overfunding to pay down debt, number one, and possibly make some investments. So, as I said, a blast from the past. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope everyone had a good day.